How's it going, broskies? Damocles here, and today I'm going to be breaking down 15 things that you might not know about Pokemon Unite. Special shout out to Epic Bagger for suggesting this in my last video comment section. You know I'm always trying to listen, and if you've not already liked this video and subscribed to the channel, go ahead and do that right now. I'll wait. So that we can hit 20k subs and I can give away this Nintendo eShop gift card. Also, if you want any dope Team Shiny merch or you want to chat with me individually in Discord, make sure you hit the links in the description below. Without further ado, let's hop into it, shall we? Something you might not know, number one, is that Dreadnought actually applies a debuff to your team when you get it that makes you deal significantly reduced damage to Zapdos for about 90 seconds. So if you're ever in a situation where it's getting close to the game, the end of the game, and Zapdos is about to spawn, and you want to actually have any chance of getting it, you do not want to take Dreadnought, or you do not want to take the last Dreadnought within about 90 seconds of Zapdos spawning, because you will most assuredly lose Zap. Like, almost 100% chance. So what we're going to do here is just go. I took Dreadnought just now around the 3-ish minute mark. So once 2 minutes hits, I'm going to hit Zapdos with Brave Bird. You're going to see how much damage it does. And then once that 90 seconds has elapsed, I'm going to go hit Zapdos again with Brave Bird. And you're going to see the difference in damage output. For reference, I'm not using any kind of items of any kind. My Brave Bird is doing 1881 to Corphish and other wild Pokemon spawns, but this is really important, guys, because a lot of times people will go and get this last Dreadnought and they think get every single Dreadnought. You don't want to take the last one, especially if Zapdos is about to spawn. So here I'm going to go and I'm going to hit Zap. So we hit Zap and 847 damage. 847 damage. That's a big difference in damage output, right? 847. I'll hit it again just so you can see. We still got 847. I don't know why this crab is chasing after me. Still have 847. Again, think about if you're in a steal situation and you need to steal Zapdos to win the game. If you do half damage, you're done. You're absolutely done. So that one, 1881. See the difference? It's massive, like absolutely massive, like almost cuts your damage in half, or more than cuts your damage in half for 90 seconds after you take Dreadnought. So do not take the last Dreadnought. That's number one. Something else you might not know is that you can actually push Rotom past goalposts so that it is totally worthless to the enemy team. You can do this with essentially any character that has some kind of like movement displacement ability, like a Snorlax block or a Garchomp push or a Talonflame Unite move. You can do it with any of them. Some are easier than others, but right now I'll just show you how to do it with like Snorlax block. So all you have to do is literally just push it a little bit past the goalpost and the Rotom will totally change its targets, and you'll see that here. So I'll pop it and come on, and now it's passed. Now it's just going to keep on continuing down, and it can't do anything because nobody can actually score down here. Just something fun to potentially do if you want to, I don't know, try and save a game, or you're just one defender trying to defend against a team of like people running Rotom. You can see it still applies the effect, but the enemy team can't score here because there's still a goalpost up, and it basically makes their objective totally worthless. So try giving it a go. It's probably not something you're going to be able to do all the time, but it's pretty funny to do when you actually manage to make it work. Something else you might not know, but you probably should, is that regardless of whether or not you own a particular Pokemon, you can still play with them in practice games. So make sure that before you go and spend your hard-earned dough on a Pokemon that you're not sure if you're going to like, go and take it into the practice area and play some games with it first. This is going to save you a lot of money in the long run, and I'm sure most people already know this, but I just had to throw it out there. Something you might not know about, but you probably should, is that characters who have cleanses like Blissey with Safeguard and Wiggly with its Unite move actually are able to cleanse the debuff that Dreadnought applies that I spoke about earlier, so that it actually makes it okay for your team to take the final Dreadnought if you have one of those people on your team and they're able to actually go and cleanse your full team and they know what they're doing. Also, Blissey and Wiggly with those cleanses are able to totally ignore these slow zones because the slow zone counts as a hindrance that can be cleansed. So you see I'm moving at a snail's pace here. As soon as I pop Safeguard, I'm totally free of movement restrictions. Now, is that going to be insanely useful to you in game? Maybe if you're going for like insane dives and like a Blissey comp, but regardless, it's something that you should probably just keep in the back of your head. Something else you might not know, but I talked about in my Cramorant tips video, go check it out, is that when you are playing as Cram and you have a fish or a Pikachu in your mouth and you use your Unite move, you actually do less damage with your Unite move because the first hit throws the fish, and for whatever reason the fish does basically half damage of your Unite move. So you'll be able to see it here. I'll probably do about 800 with the first hit. 1000. But then the rest are 1600. So something to keep in mind. Make sure if you're playing Cram, you throw out this fish before you go and use your Unite move. Otherwise, you're going to be just wasting your Unite move's damage. And it's very valuable on Cram. Another thing is that Cram does more damage when you start your Unite move at close range while using Energy Amplifier. This is because Energy Amplifier does not last the entire duration of Cramorant's ult, but if you use it at close range, the amount of shots that it actually amplifies increases by 1. So I'll use it right here, and you can see that I'm going to do, how much? 15186, but if I do it from a distance away, like literally any distance away, one of those shots is going to lose out on some damage. Is it absolutely game-changing? Probably not, but it's just something that you probably don't know and you might want to keep in mind or keep in the back of your head. Something else you should probably know is that you can actually change the speed at which you travel around the map with your free camera, and you definitely should do this because it just gives you better visibility all over the place, and it's just monumentally helpful in every stage of the game. And you're going to do that by going to settings, going to controls, and going to camera sensitivity with minimap hidden and minimap shown. I think most people should know this if you've spent some time in the settings, but I see a lot of complaints on the subreddit and other places that the camera speed is just way too slow. So make sure you go and change these settings, increase it so that you can see more of the map and that you can react to things a lot faster. Something that you probably don't know, but you do know if you watch my channel, is that Zeraora can pull people from super long distances using Discharge and Volt Switch and its Paralysis passive. So let's just take a look at it, shall we? I'm gonna go and hit this guy once. I'm gonna pop this, hit this, and then pull it all the way back. Pretty fun, right? Takes a lot of practice, but you can do this on a couple other characters as well. Most characters in Unite that have movement abilities that either pull something or leap to something like an Absol dash actually follow the movements of the Pokemon that they are dashing to. So in this case, the target dummy is getting pulled towards Zeraora. If I change Zeraora's position, the target dummy is going to follow while it's being pulled. So keep that in mind if any more characters come out that can use these types of things. Something else you might not know is that Eject Button can be used to augment a variety of abilities in this game. I mean, honestly, there's too many to count, but just to name a few, you saw the Zeraora play in the last tip, which makes it so you can kind of extend the range of your Volt Switch pull, but also things like extending the range of Cramorant ult. You can Eject Button in Cram's ult to move yourself closer and reposition, but you could also go and do it on somebody like Slowbro to extend the range and the pull range of Telekinesis. So right there you saw me use Telekinesis normally, but if I go and I Eject Button before Telekinesis actually lands, you can pull them even farther, which opens up a bunch more playmaking opportunities for you. Something you might want to know about in Pokemon Unite is that it actually takes you 8 seconds to be considered out of combat by the game. So this really matters when it comes to items that have passive abilities like Floatstone. So I just got my Assault Vest taken out, and now I'm going to go and I'm going to take out this Audino, and we're going to see just how long it takes for us to actually get out of combat, just to confirm. So right here, you're going to see, start at 125, boom. So you should see in a few seconds, Assault Vest is going to come back online. roughly 8 seconds afterwards. And this means that items like Floatstone, where the majority of the passive is baked into the out of combat bonus, you really don't want to be using. Floatstone is terrible. I did an entire video on it. Go check it out. Something you might not know, but you probably should, because it'll help you out a lot if you're into these challenges, is that none of these challenges actually have to be completed in real games. So the annoying challenges like defeat Abra 10 times or get a bunch of electrodes or anything like that, you can go and do them in practice matches without anybody else there and get them completed lickety-split. So make sure you go and do that if you want to try and get those challenges out of the way, or if you've been struggling to get those challenges, you can just hop into any kind of old practice game or friendly match and get those completed and get them out of the way before the time expires. Something you definitely should know is that for any Pokemon that actually has to evolve throughout the course of the game, in order to evolve, you either have to A, last hit a wild Pokemon camp, or B, score. So if you are on a team with a bunch of Pokemon that need to evolve and you see somebody that's super far behind, don't take their last hit, because they actually need it to even exist in the game, and they will be hard stuck at that level until they can actually get the evolution completed. So make sure you take that into consideration when they're on your team, but also if the enemy team has a bunch of Pokemon that need to evolve, try to steal their last hits at any possible moment so that they cannot get to that next level, and they will be super far behind in lane because it's extremely punishing. So I'll just show you real quick here. I'll just go and score, boop, and we hit our Ivysaur. But you will be stuck at that level until you can actually go and evolve our last hit. Another little known fact is that Rotom actually overwrites the effect of Zapdos. So if you have Rotom activated on an opponent's goalpost and then you capture Zap, you're actually going to be greatly messing yourself up. So I'm going to do my best here to cap Rotom and try to kill Zap before Rotom actually makes its way down there. We'll see if we actually make it. But basically, Zapdos goes and applies an instant scoring mechanic to the goal. And if you go and actually score Rotom right before, you can see the difference. Rotom, by the time I actually get there, is only going to be 6 seconds long, so a lot of your team might not be able to score, whereas the other ones that are actually hit by Zapdos have a full 30-second duration. And so it might not make a huge difference in this case, but in a large majority of cases, if you do this, you can majorly mess yourself up. And it's just an interesting thing to note. So Rotom's effect, even though it's another instant dunk mechanic, it lasts for literally less than half the time that Zapdos does. And if you use it, it could mean the difference between your team being able to go and score a bunch of points in middle and essentially your team losing the game. So make sure you keep that in mind. And I think that you probably don't know that actually works that way. Something else you might not know is that the held item score shield actually stacks on top of other shields. So if you're playing someone who can apply shields, or you have people on your team that can apply shields, in order for the enemy team to actually stop you from scoring, they're going to have to break through all of your shields. This can really lead to some mean stuff. Like this Cinderace needs to cut through all of my shields in order to actually prevent me from scoring here. And that's what leads to metas like the Score Shield meta, where everybody's running super annoying shielded characters like Lucario with shields, or Blissey with Safeguard, or Wiggly with Unite ult, or Buddy Barrier. All of these things stack on top of Score Shield and prevent the enemy from interrupting your scoring. So keep that in mind, and please don't use it against me. Something that you might not know, and it honestly might not even be that relevant anymore, but in my opinion is just good practice, is putting Scope Lens on the left-hand side of your held item slots if you're using Scope Lens. The reason for this is that when Unite was first released, there was a bug involving Scope Lens not working correctly on the right-hand side of certain items like Muscle Band, and so people that saw this posted on the bug forums and on Reddit and just through the grapevine started putting Scope Lens on the left-hand side just to 100% alleviate any of these right-hand side issues. So I don't know if it's really been fixed or not, but in general, with how buggy Unite is, I always put scope lens on the far left-hand side just to make sure that I don't run into that bug if it's ever introduced in the future or if it hasn't been fixed yet. So just a tip. All right, so another thing that most people don't know is that standing in the goal zone actually speeds up scoring for the rest of your team. So if me and my teammate both are sitting on 50 and he starts scoring first, or I start scoring first, whoever gets there second is actually going to have the increased speed of scoring. So right now he's going to start scoring and I'm going to start scoring. I'm actually going to score before him because of the speed up from the goal scoring like mechanism in this game. So the more people that you have in that goal zone, the more teammates that you have, the faster you're going to score goals. And this is especially useful if you have nothing, like I have 5 now. If I want to speed up Gardevoir's scoring, then I want to go and I want to stand in this goal zone so that they're able to get the increased speed of scoring as well. So make sure you keep that in mind to help out your teammates and to score before people jump on you with any kind of like base jump pads or anything like that. All right, broskies, thank you so much for watching. I hope you learned something new. Even if it's a little tiny thing, because I think some of these are really important to know. Some of them are less important, but will always help you out. And some things I think people just skipped over during the tutorial. So I really hope it helps you out. If not, I hope it helps a buddy out or helps, I don't know, somebody else in your family out. And thank you so much for suggesting this video because I like to do stuff that you guys want to watch and that you're requesting. So if you have any more feedback or suggestions or anything like that, drop them in the comments below. And if you actually made it this far, you made it to the end of the video fully, let me know down below. I don't know, throw out a code word or something so that I know. All right, say burger. Say burger in the comments if you made it this far because I love seeing it. And thank you guys so much for watching. Remember, if you want to hop in my Discord or if you want any awesome Team Shiny merch, make sure you hit the links in the description below. And I will see you guys next time. Thank you so much for all the support. Damocles out.